What's good, fellow CEOs? Welcome to the Irony of Gaming, and today we're going to be starting main episode 6. Before I started though, happy 3rd anniversary, and hopefully you guys ended up getting the roles that you wanted for, and especially for the new unit that's out, the new Awakened of Hilde. Now this is like a crazy insane thing because like I've been suspecting this and saying this for like quite a while, that I suspected that Hilde was definitely going to get another form or another awakened form, just because of what she was mentioning before in previous specific episodes and whatnot. So it's pretty crazy that that's happening and whatnot, and eventually we are going to get to that point where she does where she kind of gives hints about it, that this could be a thing. But yeah, we'll get there when we get there. But this is a huge like thing that has happened right here, because if she ended up getting another awakened form, that means that Yumina is definitely gonna get another form. That means that possibly Nayuba can get one, and any of these other units that we already have awakened forms of, there's a possibility that we can always get another variant of them, which means it's man, it's gonna be insane, because that means that it's going to be, there's a possibility that there's going to be like a lot of story that's going to be happening with it. So there's going to be a lot more sub streams, a lot more main episodes. So I'm thinking, in my opinion, that we got a long way to go before we end up seeing like the awakens that we want to see or are expecting. So it's pretty good. This is definitely good. It's pretty good that they're taking this route from this. And it's pretty good. Now, I haven't rolled for the unit yet. I'm going to hold off for a bit more. I think like we got about like what, 8 more days. So before this timer runs out, I will roll for this unit. I'm definitely getting this unit. Her kit is pretty insane, especially if you put her especially if you put her with the Fenrir squad. She tends to give them a pretty nice set of buffs. But yeah, I'm gonna wait for a bit, because I usually wait before I I do like these ultimate rolls and the ultimate openings of the coupons and all that stuff. So I'm gonna wait till I get a bit more stuff, and I'll be rolling for soon enough. But without further ado, we're going to start main episode 6. Okay, so this one, I think when I first started this one, I believe that this one is it was either episode 6 or 7. That was like the longer one, because I think episode 6 might be a longer episode. So this is pretty much after the incident of the replacer incident. So, you know, I think maybe like a few months or so. Wait, what does it say? It says like the aftermath. I wonder if it's gonna tell us the time frame to this. I think this was like probably a few months after, or maybe like a year. But we'll see. I think the game is gonna tell us. But the signs. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so there were only about 4 acts on there. And honestly, no, it really wasn't that lengthy. Okay, so we could probably do like 2 videos on this. But anyways, you guys already know the drill. So if I'm gonna talk about anything spoiler related or anything like talking about any of the sub streams, I'm gonna count down from 5 seconds, and that's going to give you guys enough time to mute the video. And once I'm done talking about what I'm talking about, I'm then going to rotate my mouse just like this, and that's going to give you guys enough time to mute the video. I mean, to unmute the video. and we can continue on. And then also too, if I'm going to start any of the missions here, I am obligated by a rule where I am only able to use units that is part of the same squad. Now, sometimes there may come a time where there's a few cases where I may have to do a collaborative effort by adding in, you know, another unit that's part of a different squad, just so I can get through some of the specific situations that some of the missions happen. So now this happened only a few times, you know, in the later episodes, because, you know, the difficulty is going to start ramping up and it's going to start putting you into some challenges and whatnot. But other than that, we'll see what happens. But yeah, let's start it. Yumina returns. It's the bright light. Okay. It looks like we got a mission too that we get started. Okay, how am I gonna go about this? Let's switch out the duck. We may have to start using the ships eventually, just because of how I guess how tough it could be, but I don't think we need it just yet. We'll see. I wonder, who should I use though? I think we'll go with Seo Yoon.
꼭 현재대로 움직이란 법은 없잖아요.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Okay, that's pretty cool right there. So you guys remember when in, I think like the very first main episode, we had Hilde standing in this position? And now it's Yumina that's standing in this position. That was pretty cool when I first saw that. It's almost as if she's like completely replicating what Hilde has done. Same scene too, different person. That's so cool. Like this scenery, I love this scenery, the way that it is. It's definitely one of the things that really got me hooked into the story to begin with, just because of how they bring out the setting, the atmosphere of everything. It's like a little bit of edge, a little bit of mystery, but also just classy coolness and everything. Who would have thought that, you know, having I guess like a blue collar type of outfit, or I guess you could say like one of those corporate jobs, you know, wearing a suit and tie like that, or like a dress or a skirt like that. Who would have thought that you could make it into such a stylish fashion? Very epic. Actually, I'm gonna take a picture of that. That looks so cool. Breaking up the past. Even this scene, it's kind of like the same. Of course, Chloe was involved. She does seem a little different, a bit more talkative. Now Hilda's trying to play it off. Oh, you know what I should have done? I probably should have used a Fenrir squad unit.
오빠, 우리 힘내봐요. 감당할 수 있나, 오빠? 컴퓨터!
Nice. It looks like my units are still too powerful, which means that we may not need to use any ships for this main episode. I wonder how much time has passed. It hasn't been like a great deal of like maybe months or maybe a year. She's very big on not bringing up the past. But you know what? I'm thinking the main reason why she's like that too is because I guess you could say she's trying to leave Nare in the past. Don't want to bring up old things to open up old wounds, probably. And that could be the reason, one of those reasons why she's you know, she's so determined to not dwell on the past too much or at all. Ooh. Now this is a part I didn't remember. You're only grade C on paper now. You've got what it takes to be designated grade A or above. I would say definitely above, maybe. Yeah, that would make sense. If your grade is higher, they technically would have to pay more. Looks like he spilled the beans a little bit. Hold on, I need to check something real quick. All right, cool. All right. Deconstructed it into a molecular level to store it into the watch. Wow, that's pretty clever. You know, now that I think about it, that is interesting because I think that there's a few characters that have those different types of transformations. Maybe that could be one of those things where, you know, if they are a part of the Coffin Company, that probably explains why some of these things happen, because it's, you know, maybe their real outfit is like stored within the watch as well. Like over time, you'll come to start seeing units, and I think there were some units in the past, I think. Actually, you know what? Hold on, just in case. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so for those of you who didn't mute the video, so one of the characters I had in mind, who probably could be a little bit similar to Mina when, you know, having their, you know, different forms and whatnot, is Seo Yu. Now, I'm wondering if that could be like the same, something similar right there, where maybe Seo Yu is either, maybe there's like a technology where she's either hiding her true form, or maybe like the same thing has happened where, you know, the CEO has deconstructed her outfit and the missile time into her watch, and where she could just activate it at will at any time. That would be pretty cool if she does have something similar to that as what Mina has. Though I think there was like another unit too that has something like that, but it's not coming to mind at the moment. A molecular level. Very clever. Ooh, that is cold. Yeah, it looks like that's still affecting her. Wait a minute. Uh-oh, more overtime. She hates it.
기다리느라 애태우신 거 아니죠?
Just a trace amount of CRF can neutralize the corruption rays released by COs and help use one's weapon to its fullest potential. Huh. An alternative.
맞도록 사장님.
Actually, hold on. I think think I'm gonna use this unit.
그럼 비즈니스 지역으로 가볼까?
Oh, wait a minute. This track actually plays on episode 6, huh? So there's a specific substream that plays this theme song. I gotta check that again to see which one came first though. I think I pressed that a little too fast. Man, he got knocked right across the field. In a body bag. Oh, cool, look at that. All squads here. Oh, look at that. She's all normal too. Look at that. Before we had her have, you know, the alternative type of gear on. Different color eyes and hair and whatnot.
오빠, 우리 힘내봐요.
It's kind of funny. I'm
자,
doing this like in
볼까?
the reverse.
자, 이거 들려주지. 저기도 전부 저희 언니 오빠들에게 도움 받기고요.
Oh,
저 많이 칭찬해
They
주실
actually-
거죠?
that poison was actually deadly. Starting to grow a lot larger as a company. Task Force 13. Ooh, 3rd Recon Squad. Okay, they're in action here now. The Eddie Squad. Oh, okay. So he has a Stronghold has a has an acquaintance connection with Lieutenant King from the police squad. Indeed, they can.
말했잖아. 혼자가 아니라고.
Coffin Company leaves it to the squad commanders to name their squad. Okay. A trapped fish.
당신을 위한 토끼가
Oh, this must be, judging by like how aggressive this personality is, this must be the orca itself, rather than it being human orca. Busy with another matter. Wonder what that could be. She's like, what? Hey, this is a pretty cool drawing as well. She looks a lot taller in this one. Oh, see, this also gives another indication of just how freakishly powerful Hilde is. Punching a category 3 with just her bare fist. Insanity. Is this the one with poison again?
언니 오빠들에게 좋은 복겠죠?
There we go.
역시 오빠가 최고예요.
It's kind of interesting how she says it this way. She's keeping it, it's interesting. She keeps Mina and Fenrir Squad separate, even though Mina is a part of Fenrir Squad. She could have just said, "Wow, Fenrir Squad's amazing," but I can see a reason why she would mention something like this. Pretty much giving, like an indication of how much Mina has grown.
자기의 도움이 될 수 있어서 기뻐.
It's not uncommon for powerful named COs to appear near the Grand Dimension crevices, with the direct control cities built around them. Huh. Interesting. So even this far back they mentioned this. That a previously defeated CEO shows up again. You don't say.
이쪽은 문제 없다.
A top-notch category 3. Oof, 2 weeks. stop her at all costs. No ordinary CO. An emptier. This looks familiar.
오빠, 우리 힘내봐요.
지금부터 내가 지휘한다. 점화.
Oh, I love this theme
베리어
song.
생성.
So epic. Wow, she looks just like a
적을
just like a
통제한다.
specific CEO that we had faced
날
before.
따라오도록.
I see some similarities here.
베리어 생성. 베리어 생성. 베리어 생성.
완전 무적 상태예요.
적을 분쇄한다.
완전 무적 상태예요.
베리어 생성. 적을 분쇄한다.
완전 무적 상태예요. 금방 계산해 볼게요.
Oh,
싸우지 마세요.
whoa! They actually destroyed the vehicle.
주저앉아 있을 여유 따윈
Okay.
없어. 펫.
Wait, this was it, right? Yeah, this was it. Okay. Okay. Well, it looks like we have to actually get a little bit serious here. Alright, let's do that. We didn't do a lot of damage either, so that must mean she's actually dodging. Okay, so I guess we could actually get the show on the road, right?
자,
그럼 비즈니스 지역으로 가볼까?
I think that'd be fine.
오빠, 우리 힘내봐요.
여기는 힐대. 강화한다.
너무 늦진 않았죠?
출력 전개. 점화.
그건 사양할게요. 실례합니다. 여기선 제가 힘 좀 써보겠습니다.
언니 오빠들에게 도움 됐겠죠?
방심하지 말고 돌파한다.
혹시나 친구들을 부르자.
실례합니다.
허스나이걸 내주지.
역시 오빠가 최고예요.
Ah. Navir. Or Navire? Navire. It's either Nervier or Nervire. I remember seeing this the first time before, and I was like, "Whoa, this is." I was like, "There's no way this can be the same type of CEO." When I first saw it, I was like, "Man, that's crazy." Back from the dead.
작전 완료했다.
Very unusual.
걱정할 필요 없다고 했었지, 사장님?
Although, if that's an interesting thing too, of what they do, where the previous shadow that we had fought before was like under a different code name. So I'm wondering if it's like, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like if it was anything having to do with maybe the previous data from the administration databases. I'm thinking that maybe CEOs could end up kind of like that code name, the Nervire. But I am wondering where, like how, basically how they come up with these type of code names. Especially if they showed in the database where they've been destroyed already, even though they were under a different name. I've always wondered about that, actually. I'm wondering how exactly something like that works. That maybe there's like, maybe in the administration database there's something like, I guess, specific under specific conditions, that they end up using like a different code name for something. Let's say if like a CEO was to come back again after being destroyed the first time. It is interesting. Ah, the official license squad. Double the amount. Uh-oh. She having a tantrum. She's throwing a tantrum. And I'm guessing in this case, you keep your rivals closer. She's just like, you know what, whatever. There's food involved, so sure. The quickest way to Mina's heart is apparently her stomach. You know, I wonder what type of food that they would get from this. Maybe like one of those hibachi barbecues, or maybe even the specific ones where you could just, you know, like cook your own food. I've been to one of those places before. It's pretty awesome. Pretty good food too. Immediately went on to the next person. Uh-oh, looks like Mina's going back to school. Oh, she was very accepting of that. Okay, so we'll start on with Act 2. Wow, this was really short. It looks like the main episode 6 was pretty short from here. I mean, later on, like in later main episodes, it does get a lot more lengthier. A lot more lengthier, a lot more intense, a lot more suspenseful. Very good stuff. And here she is. It's been a while since I've been of help to anyone. Huh. You don't say. Interesting. She talks like someone he used to know. Huh. You know, I would pay attention to what he says here. Just keep a mental note of it. Ah, classified. Okay. Simulation training.
맡겨둬, 사장님.
I think, yeah, we'll go with Fenrir squad. Actually, you know what? Let's see what happens
비즈니스 지역으로 가볼까?
if I just use Yumina. Oh, we got a magician here. Yeah, that's a good question, Mina. Where would this pencil disappear to? And why would it be potentially dangerous? Yeah, I would pass too.
우리 힘내봐요.
Alright, let's see what you got, Mina.
큰 거 온다.
이걸로 끝을 내주지. 그 무엇도 나를 올가매지 못해.
큰 거 온다. 완전 무적 상태예요. 혹시야 친구들을 부르자. 완전 무적 상태예요. 저 많이 칭찬해 주실 거죠?
Oh, they were actually attacking the ship. Ooh, perfect. Oh man, I love this part right here. She literally just crushed this test. Yeah, she's had a lot of powerful combat experience. We get our butts kicked by our boss piloting a big robot. Oh man, I remember the days of that. When I first started playing CounterSide and started doing the training levels, man, oh man, those robots used to go ham on my units. But eventually, with time, dedication, and leveling up, those robots became super easy. It's pretty cool that she mentions this, when she's like, "Oh yeah, we definitely get our butts kicked by the giant robots." And it's like, if you've ever reached that point within the training simulations, you're just like, yeah, I totally relate to this. It's kind of like, in a way, she's breaking the fourth wall, but also like mentioning, I guess, a little bit of lore at the same time. Wouldn't you say?
말했잖아. 혼자가 아니라고.
He needs extra attention and care from teachers. Ray.
늘 하던 대로 하세요.
Ah, so this is Ray. Wow, for years and you still been failing your courses? The legendary senior who never graduates. Bro. he's like a what? A super senior? Couldn't even clear the tutorial stage. Man. What's his counter grade level, I wonder? I know you never seem to age, but you can't stay as a student forever. Guys, I think he figured out the answer to eternal life. Unless he's talking about that unless she's like she's saying that as a figuratively speaking speech. Man, that would be awesome though. To never age. Graduation isn't the answer to everything, is it? I don't know, Ray. I don't think being a super senior or a legendary senior would be a good thing either. You know, that reminds me of that movie. There was like a movie a long time ago It's like an old movie. I think it's like a sitcom comedy or something like that, like a parody of like a college student who always wants to stay in college, so he purposely does parties and whatnot, and he just never wants to graduate, or I think he's incapable of doing so. I forget what the name of that movie was. It was pretty funny though, but for some reason it reminded me of that. Didn't you get a pretty high CRF output reading? You know, this is interesting right here. I'd make a mental note of this specific set of words. Fighting really isn't my thing at all. Yeah, I definitely keep a mental note of this. The cream of the crop. Why does this feel strangely familiar? I think she's probably referring to like how what is her name? Seo Yoon. How she usually tries to glaze up Yumina to try to get her to do stuff. Like, oh, but you're the best at this. And somehow she just ends up tricking her. Interesting. Even the same grade has multiple subdivisions. Huh. The same grade has multiple subdivisions. You must be a grade S. A grade S, grade C? So, like, in a way, I'm guessing, like, she's probably the best that a grade C could ever be. Being at the top like that. a top grade C counter. I guess she has some point to that. Like, we could probably see like multiple. Yeah, you know, yeah, I can see how that makes sense. That could make sense in a way. Different types of grades. Different types of grades within a grade. So if there was gonna be like a top, like if there was gonna be like a grade A, there probably would be like multiple different types of grade A's who were stronger than most grade A's, I guess. Yeah, that could make sense. Or they could possibly be maybe a grade S who's stronger than other grade S's. That makes sense. I guess that could be fair, Mika. I mean, it does sound strange. Like, wait, what does that mean? But I guess it makes sense in a way. But I don't think it will be like in a category. Like, I think it would probably be better saying, like, I guess like someone's a top grade C or something like that, rather than a grade S, grade C. Because that does sound like it's complicated. That does sound complicated right there. Well, using that phrase of wording. The hardest stage is a category 2?
오빠, 우리
Immediately throwing them into this, huh?
이해하지 마세요. 어차피 사라질 테니까.
확실히 지금
없어요. 없어요.
완전 무적 상태예요.
날 뛰어보세요. 저 밟아 좀 타보세요.
완전 무적 상태예요.
네 결의는 겨우 이 정도냐?
저기도 전부 저희 땅이에요.
제법인데요?
완전 무적 상태예요.
이따위 실력으로?
언니 오빠들에게
밟아 좀 타보세요. 제법인데요?
저 많이 칭찬해 주실 거죠?
Nice. First place. Ooh. Second place. Third place, Nile Blue Steel. that other brat, who the one that's in third place. Most of the defending, huh? You're nothing like a certain someone I know at work. Is she talking about Ju Shi-yoon or Hilde? Well, then again, Hilde is usually more aggressive at times. So she must be talking about Ju Shi-yoon, where he takes the defensive route by just watching. He prefers to watch from the sidelines rather than having to get involved. Uh-oh.
이걸로 어떤 게 더 바뀌었을까요? 좋은 결과 있으셨길 바랍니다.
Now I will say this though, Neil definitely has a pretty cool style, especially with the whole three swords thing. She has a interesting design. Competitor. We'll use this one.
오라버니께서 멋진 성찬을
Man, I remember first reading this before. I was like, man, this girl's very snobby. I was like, damn, she's such an asshole. Mina didn't like that. Oh boy. Elite, you say? That crazy jerk. Strongest. Uh-oh. She heard strongest. She's like, yo, I'm gonna have to take that rank from you. She's that strong, huh? Very arrogant. Although I will say that the devs adding a character like this around this time, it definitely gives a strong first impression. And in a way too, it's like that strong impression definitely would get you to remember her. Yeah, I really love this. I love parts like these because Mina is so experienced and she's just like, really? She took it out by herself, and that's what you call impressive? Because Mina is so disconnected from what the Academy experience is based off of hers. 3 main battle tanks to deal with those. I think that's a little too much of defending. Actually, I took out a few category 3s just yesterday. Oh man. More or less. Oh man, that's cool. But she's like she's just so disconnected from what people would think. Because I mean, average counters, you'd be like, yeah, they're very formidable opponents. But to Mina, she's just like, man, we kill those like every other day. To you, that may be like once in a lifetime type of thing. To me, it's just Tuesday. I remember when I first saw this part right, I was like, yeah. I was like, you just love to see it. Her getting proven wrong. She's like, fine, I'll give it a try. But as for hell, man, you definitely have.
언니, 오빠들 잘 부탁드립니다. 모두 함께 즐거운 성찬을 열도록 해요. 저기도 전부 저희 땅이에요. 그러고요, 거기 있다고 안전하진 않아요.
Okay, I think that was a little too much.
오빠가 최고예요.
It seems a lot easier than the real thing. Oh, also, there was another thing too, which I found interesting what she had said earlier before, but just in case, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so for those of you who didn't mute the video, so when she was mentioning the whole thing about, you know, how she's been through hell and back, I wasn't like, just thinking about what she previously had gone through based off of the replacer incident, because I mean that was a hellish type of thing, and she did come back from that. However, I was also thinking of something funnier about like well, not even funnier, but like an ironic type of thing where she mentions that based off of her history within the later main episodes, where where you have multiple variants of the wolf getting killed, resurrecting, and getting killed again. And in a way, it's like that can also be viewed as a hellish type of thing, where you're literally going through hell, getting killed, going through it, and then coming back from it again, over and over, in many different instances. So it's kind of interesting how even at this earlier stage, these type of small metaphor wordings and sayings and stuff like that is kind of interesting, because it seems like it all comes full circle. Like it was all mentioned from the very beginning, and we're just seeing it again repeat itself in the later main episodes, which is really cool to see that. Interesting metaphors and whatnot. Yo, they're so flabbergasted. They're like, yo, she really cleared it. It's just like, yo, I can see them making fun of me about this. Uh-oh.
바이바이.
Did it just explode?
이제 헤어질 시간이에요. 또 만나요.
Malfunction. Uh-oh.
그럼 비즈니스 지역으로 가볼까?
I want to use a different skin. Oh, looks like Mina just made another rival. We're not in the 18th century, you moron. Oh, looks like Mina is looks like she's grown a little bit. She don't really seem so worried. She's like, yeah, Mina, what are we gonna do about this? Should we just leave her? Sounds like you got a pretty aggressive commander. You don't know the half of it, Mika. I love this theme song. It's so epic.
언니, 오빠들 잘 부탁드립니다.
내 앞을 가로막는다면 전력으로 맞설 뿐이야. 사라져라, 블래스트! 느려!
폭신이 지금이 어딨대요? 언니, 오빠 완전 무적 상태예요.
Oh,
역시
okay. I think that was a little too much. Oh, she actually did break it. You're gonna call the cops. So call in the cops on a category 3 malfunctioning simulation that probably when it glitched out probably became even stronger than a category 3. And you want the cops to do something about it? Can you imagine, like, can you imagine that, like let's say, like Godzilla or whatever invades the city. Oh man, Godzilla is invading the city, right? But you have the means to, let's say you have the means to stop him or whatever. But it's like, oh, you know, rather than you doing that, we're gonna call the cops first. They can handle Godzilla. What? Oh man. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay. Distant cousins, huh? Haha. The Mina squad. Sagacious guidance? Huh. Interesting word.
더는 내게 주어진 숙명을 외면하지 않겠어.
Okay, so this is the end of Act 2. Wow, we are flying through this, actually. Wow. Hold on, let me check the time for this. Okay. This is good timing, though. Yeah, I can't. For some reason, I was remembering episode 6 to be a little bit longer than this, but I must have been thinking of another main episode or so. But yeah, we could definitely probably finish this in a second video. But yeah, we're going to call it here. But yeah, this is a really this was a really interesting episode, especially when the first time when I first read this one. It was definitely something that that led you to wanting to know more within this main episode, because a lot of interesting things begin to unfold. And yeah, it definitely was like leading to wanting to know more and whatnot, especially since around this time, before they released it, people were just wondering like, hey, are we gonna get another main episode or not, and whatnot, because it was a lot of sub streams that they were giving us, and nobody knew what was going on with the main episode story. So when this came out, whew, it was extremely exciting, but it definitely led me to wanting to know more, wanted to read more of the main story, especially with this one right here. But yeah, it was an interesting, it's interesting story, and it's got some interesting characters too. Definitely some interesting characters and whatnot. But yeah. So before we end this here, we're gonna play about 2 matches of PvP. Now it is Sunday though, so they did do some bans. I wonder who did they ban though. and these are the most winnings. Makes sense. And who's banned this week? Oh, they banned Yun. Okay, so he's banned now. Who else did they ban? Oh, already? Really? They banned the new unit? Okay. I mean, she is a powerful unit, but I mean, I don't think like she was. I don't think she's that much of a problem to, you know, to have people start banning her. But it is what it is, I guess. But that's not okay though, because he is banned, so that does throw a wrench a little bit within my Maestra team. I do wonder though if I can make this work. Like maybe by using an immortal build, or possibly maybe use Hilde, or maybe a Yubin. But we would really need like some type of form of, you know, I don't know, some type of form of like counterattacks. We're gonna use Ray.
난 싸우겠어.
We're gonna use Ray. We're gonna see how this goes right here. I think this is a new set that I ended up using. Because I did end up buying, I think like a few days ago, I did buy the Swift pack one, because that was a really good deal, at least in terms of what my account would need. So I was like, yeah, this is a pretty good deal of what they were offering. Because the one that they're selling within the shop, it's like the anniversary version, and it's like it pretty much allows you to choose what your Leighton is gonna be and what the main skill is gonna be. So I was like, yeah, I'm definitely not gonna pass that up. But now that we're here, I might as well get these up to 7, especially since, like, you know, everything is half price. Alright, then we go to the latent abilities, and we'll see what we get. Ooh. We got pretty lucky. We just need one more, and we can make this into a perfect one. Yo! We are getting lucky. You think we can get something with the middle? Do we have enough? Oh, we do have enough. Let's see what happens. Yo! We're getting so lucky with this. Okay, hold on. Wait a second. Let's see if we can get one more. Oh, this one right here. I kind of want to try and get these up here, because I mean, this one is like already at its highest. And I mean, we're only missing like 0.3, so in a way it kind of makes sense to go after the other one. Let's see how lucky we can get with this. Ooh, okay. Go right there, and then let's see what we can do with this. Okay. Alright, so let's go here and let's see what happens. Okay, we go a little bit higher than that. Yeah, we could. Let's see if we go a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. And then what about this? Okay, but let's see if we can change. Ooh, okay. Not bad. Not bad. That is pretty high up right there. But yeah, let's see what happens. Maybe Ray could help out with this. I do want to use a Maestra team, but we're gonna try it with let's try with this team first. I want to see what happens. This build I did have to like rearrange a little bit just because of the whole ban list. But I honestly I don't think I had to really rearrange much on this one, or I don't think I had to do it at all. Ooh, I think I know what's gonna happen here. So they're pretty much gonna use I think her name is Dracosha. They're gonna try and use her as a rush team to try and fix everything up. Yeah. So let's see. We'll see what we can do here. It's a good thing I have this ship here, so I think that we can really do something about it. And I'm hoping that we can destroy her since we got this block.
하늘에서 칼을 조심해야 한다고 배운 적은 없어.
머리가 부러질 거다. 널 위한 거다. 널 위한 거다.
Okay, this is gonna be a little bit more aggressive. Oh wow, they immediately killed her pretty quickly.
널 위한 거다. 대가를 치를 시간. 널 위한 거다.
그 정도가 최선이야.
Oh yeah, if they're destroying her this quickly, it's gonna be a little bit challenging. Oh boy.
아무나 갈 수 있는 게 아니야.
There we go. I wonder if I had enough time, could Nayubin cause something like this? Could buy us some time, but oh well. Let's try this. Ah, there we go. Oh, you know what? There is something I do want to try also. Actually. But let's see what happens here.
시험치가 잔뜩 있네.
Okay, so
되돌리기 위해서라면 되겠어.
see we use Ray.
절망을 우리가 잡았자고요.
전부야.
보자고. 놀라신 분.
이건 유용하겠어요.
Oh wow, they killed Ray too. Whoa, they killed Ray fast too, man. Oh, looks like this is not gonna work. This was pretty much like the perfect team to stop this.
내 마음이야.
함정밖에 보이지 않아. 지금 당신은 제가 있는
잊지 못한다.
Okay.
야만스러운
Competition
사람을
means
못
business
보겠네.
for this week. Okay. There is one team I do want to try out though. Let's see. Let's go here. Let's try this team out. So I was working on a machine build, and I want to try it. I wish I tried it out a little bit, but I definitely want to try it out some more. So let's see how well this team could fare against. Because I'm guessing that since I'm now within the challenger range now,
오빠,
I may have to do a few more adjustments.
잡술들밖에 없구나. 출격하겠습니다.
이렇게 군
Oh man, see, this is one of the worst case scenarios though, because my sniper class is right there, and that's a big problem. She's supposed to be like first, and then I could do something about the, you know, how the speed is right here. So that's really unfortunate. Again, too, it's one of those things too where I wish that they implemented one of those situations, like one of those abilities, so we can cycle through our units. Because when you get situations like this, it's almost as if the game pretty much will decide for you on the outcome of the match, which it's not really a good thing. Yeah. The moment that she was like put at the edge of the map was the moment that the match was already decided, which is really unfortunate. Now, another thing too, because I have been mentioning this before as well, is that like it's not only an issue within PvP itself, but it's also an issue within PvE, because like I was saying before, in the past before, like you'll have a unit that's here, and let's say like if the first unit shows up, and then you manage to get everybody else out, the second that this unit ends up dying, they get sent all the way to the back. And the problem is that what ends up happening is that the game is not going to summon them at all, and it'll keep them there until you can redeploy the units. And when you are redeploying units, that also can cut down a lot on your DPS, and can also sometimes screw up the lineups depending on the PvE content that you're doing, and it could really screw things up, especially if you're gonna go like full auto. That also tends to create you know, some issues and whatnot from there. So I really am hoping that, you know, maybe in future updates they can just implement that option to allow players to cycle through the units, because this is also a PvE issue as well, so they have to do something about that. Plus too, I don't think people would like the fact of, you know, the game deciding, you know, how the match is going to turn out and whatnot. The randomness is fine, you know, you can do the randomness, you know, all you want on there. That's fine, but at least give players the option to cycle through what they want, because it'll still take like at least, you know, a few milliseconds to 1 second or two to actually know what you want to do. I don't think it would really make much of a difference. So I think that could really be something helpful and a nice quality of life, you could say, to allow players to cycle through, you know, units and whatnot from it. But yeah, it was unfortunate. Oh, actually, I do want to try this out though. Yeah. All right, let's do it. We'll do one more. We'll do one more. We'll try this this team out.
오빠, 우리 힘내봐요.
I forget. What do I do with this build here? With this one.
물론 유료지만.
지금부터
Okay, so
내가
we'll summon Hill Day. Alright, so they got one unit here. Do that.
친구들이 부르자. 진심이야. 여러분의 인사가
Okay, so they got a lot of rangers over here, so I'm gonna summon Levia. Try and stop this. Ooh, we got Felix up in here now. Okay.
굴복하지 말고 발버둥 쳐봐라. 위한 악령의 비밀을 그잖아. 좋았어요.
Nice. GG's.
더 많이 칭찬해 주실 거죠?
All right, we redeemed ourselves a little bit. It was a set of interesting matches, but yeah, that'll be it for this video here. Hope you guys enjoyed the PvP on here. Also, too, guys, do not forget, immediately as soon as you can, finish up your anniversary missions. So this is for the first week, and the second week is going to be opening up pretty soon, within a day and 17 hours from here, or from now. But yeah, one of the ones you really want to end up doing is you know, make sure you're doing your simulations each day. You know, always do, you know, your daily stuff, because you can immediately get this, you know, 250,000 and higher with the 300,000 Eternium. You get that up there pretty easily just by doing your regular dailies and stuff. But yeah, don't forget to do these. Very important, because they do give you your selector. This allows you to select almost any awaken that you want. But this minuses the collab units though, so, but it's all the way up to the Knight of the Lake, which is that's pretty huge. That's a huge selection of awakens and whatnot. So yeah, make sure you stay on top of this, because it is possible that you can soft lock yourself. So make sure that, you know, any of the new players out there, make sure you guys immediately finish up your main episodes. Finish up main episode 5, because the reason why you have to finish that up too is because in finishing that unlocks the Shadow Palaces. With the Shadow Palace, you're going to need this, which is use 1 quantum for the coordinates. You need that for your Shadow Palaces stuff. And just in case, just to show you guys what I mean on this, is that for the Shadow Palaces, see, it ends up using this type of stuff, the quantum coordinate crystals, which you get each day. So you're definitely going to need that, and make sure that you have, you know, strong enough units to actually finish up your palaces. Now for beginners, it can get a little bit more, you know, it can get a little bit of challenging and whatnot, but I think I do have a video on the best, like one of the best ways to take your approach on there. It's called the video I have is called Where Do I Begin on CounterSide. So it does show you a little bit on how the Shadow Palaces functions and whatnot. But once you get that down pat, you should be fine. But yeah, other than that, I think that is it here. Just want to complete those missions. But yeah, we're gonna be continuing on with the last 2 acts of the main episode 6. So can't wait to start that. But till then, I'm out of here, guys. Catch you later.